Hi, my name is Alan Bracken, and we're continuing our theme, High Performance Mindset, defined as the deliberate pursuit of being our best regardless of our circumstances. Our last discussion, the challenge was for us to get very clear on why we want to be our best, why we want to perform at a higher level. So I trust that you've done that. And as we begin to think about why we want that in our life, we'll begin to attract that into our life. It all starts with a thought. So we're going to discuss a little bit about thoughts today. Now, we have a lot of thoughts. As a matter of fact, I've read studies that say we have 40,000. Some studies even say we have 60,000 thoughts a day. Now, I'm not here to debate that. I really don't know how many thoughts we have. But I am going to talk about two kinds of thoughts today, one that'll help us and one that'll hinder us from reaching our potential, from performing at a higher level. And the first one's this: freeing thoughts. Now, I've defined freeing thoughts as those thoughts that help us be our very best. Obviously, that's the kind of thoughts we want. Now, the other kind of thoughts are tormenting thoughts. These are thoughts that keep us from being our very best. So freeing thoughts are lean towards the positive side. Although they may not feel always positive, they're uplifting thoughts that help us in our pursuit of being our very best. And that's where we want to go. Freeing thoughts may be uncomfortable at times. They may be challenging. And they should be challenging. So they're not only feel-good thoughts. They're not pie-in-the-sky positive thoughts all the time. But they are thoughts that will free us to move in the direction of our potential. And that's what high performance is all about. So I think it's very important that we decide what those freeing thoughts are. Now, freeing thoughts to me are thoughts that help me, encourage me, inspire me, challenge me, engage me. They're not thoughts that bring me down. Those are the tormenting thoughts. Our tormenting thoughts are thoughts that pull us down, suck life out of us, leave us with no energy, negative. Also can be small thoughts that start moving in a direction that are not positive and build up over time into torment. Let me give you an example. It's easy, and I think human nature, to talk about what's wrong, even if it's true, what's not going right or the way that we want it. I know early in my marriage, it was easy for me to do this with my wife, Amanda. She doesn't cook. She doesn't like to cook, and I don't care anymore, because what I focus on now is her strengths. She's creative. She's relational driven. And so now with kids in the home, I'd a lot rather have her bring something home, a carry-out to eat at home, and us focus on what's important in our kids and our relationship versus what's not happening. And I think it's so easy for us to get trapped in the true thoughts that are not happening, and those little thoughts turn into torment. Because I was tormented for a while that my wife wasn't cooking. I was focused on what she wasn't doing versus what she was doing. It's easy to do with employees. I found myself as a leader looking at people, wanting them to get better and grow and stretch and focus on what they're not doing right. However, that just leads to torment. My friend told me one time, if you want to be happy, just lower your expectations. And although that's kind of funny, there's some truth in that. And what I want you to do is I want you to focus on what's right, not what's wrong. Yes, we have to address what's wrong, and there's the tension. But if we stay there and only focus on what's not going right, it will, I believe, lead to those tormenting thoughts that will keep us from performing at a higher level. Some of our tormenting thoughts for a man could be, I'm not good enough. Maybe you've grown up in an environment where you did your best, but it wasn't good enough. And that's said by people you cared about. So you begin to believe that was true, but it's not true. Maybe it was said about you that you're not good enough, but you don't have to believe that lie. And that can be a tormenting thought. I know I've struggled and battled with that. doing my very best and it not be good enough according to the people around me in my life. This can lead to a lot of problems that will not allow us to live high performance lives. Now, we may perform in one area of our life in a outstanding way if we have a mentality that says we're not good enough, because what are we trying to do? We're trying to prove that we are. But as far as a holistic approach to high performance mindset, that mindset and thought is not going to serve us to the best capacity. And that can be a tormenting thought. Now, for women, it could be, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to be loved or pursued or valued. I don't know what the tormenting thoughts are in your life, but what I want you to do is identify them. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being tormented and 10 being freeing, what is the majority of your thought life? So here's the challenge. For the next 7 days, journal your thoughts. What are your freeing thoughts? What are your tormenting thoughts? The thoughts that are holding you back from being your very best and reaching your potential. And also note the reoccurring thoughts. Now, this exercise is going to be challenging, but hey, I know you want to perform at a higher level, and I think this is a tool that we can use to help us perform at a higher level and identify our freeing thoughts, the thoughts that are going to help us be the very best that we can be.